What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another reaction video. So I'm checking out the only six woman Elvis Presley ever truly loved. Ooh, really? Okay, guys, can't wait to watch this. Can't wait to watch it, guys. Can't wait to watch it. All right, so if you're new to the channel, welcome, and I hope before you leave that you will subscribe. All right, guys, yes, let's jump into the video.
We've all seen movies and television shows about the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. And it is undeniable that he had a legendary charm that seduced lots of women. Not just at his peak, but even long ago.
Even now.
King of rock and roll and keeper of many hearts, Elvis Presley was famously charming around women. And he continued to win many of them over, not just in his heyday, but for years afterward. It also didn't hurt that he had the good looks, the fame, and an onstage persona that had become a cult obsession. Since the moment he hit the scene in the 1950s, Elvis Presley has managed to make women around the world swoon over him. From his dance moves to that hair and cool guy style, who could resist the king of rock and roll?
Who can?
But what many people don't know is that Elvis also had a softer side and was very romantic outside of show business. He had a lot of love interests throughout his life. But which ones stuck around with him? And how many women did he fall in love with? Here are the 6 women who were lucky enough to share some of their heartbreak and joys with Elvis. Number 1 is Priscilla Presley. In 1959, while he was serving in the military in Germany, Elvis Presley met his first and only wife. When they first met, she was just 14 and he was 24.
Really?
At the time, they were the it couple in Hollywood. But following Elvis' passing, a lot of criticism of their marriage surfaced. The name Child Bride was given to Priscilla because she dated Elvis when she was still in her teenage years. Elvis and Priscilla had no sexual experiences until they were married in 1967. In her memoir, Priscilla said that after Lisa Marie was born, they stopped having sexual relations because Elvis said he couldn't sleep with a woman who had a child.
Huh?
They stopped living together in 1972 and got a divorce the next year. Elvis and Priscilla Presley divorced 4 years before his untimely death.
Wow, this is interesting. I have no idea of all of that. I didn't know that they met when she was 14 too. I didn't know all that. Wow. And I wonder why you said that you can't sleep with a woman who had a child. I wonder. Wow. Me a bit curious there.
Untimely death, but the love they shared never waned. Elvis was the true love of my life, Priscilla said. Priscilla reveals that she never stopped loving the king until his death. Elvis and Priscilla Presley may have divorced in 1973, but the girl he met when she was just 14 never stopped loving him. Number 2 is Margaret Olsen. Elvis and his leading lady in Viva Las Vegas had obvious chemistry, and Priscilla said in her book that Margaret was the person she was most afraid of before her wedding. Elvis said there was nothing between them, but Priscilla said she knew better. When Margaret met Presley for the first time, the two shared several similarities. Both artists could sing, act, and dance. The press described Margaret as the female version of the burning love singer. According to the Daily Express, she wrote in her memoir that she was happy when Elvis asked to be alone with her because it meant he trusted her. She said that they would often drive up a hill and talk while looking down on the city. People even wondered if they were secretly dating. Margaret describes the affair with Elvis as a force that we couldn't control. We were indeed soulmates, shy on the outside, but unbridled within, Margaret wrote. Margaret and Presley started seeing each other off camera. In her book, she shared that she spent time with Presley's entourage. They continued to send each other love letters and had clandestine meetings and phone calls when filming for Viva Las Vegas ended. However, Presley soon told Margaret that they had to break off their affair. Elvis planned to marry Priscilla, and Margaret respected him for upholding his obligations.
Oh, wow. I can just imagine that because, meeting Elvis, of course she's gonna fall in love with him, and him. Come on, who wouldn't fall in love with Elvis? But that he keep his promise about marrying Priscilla and break it off with her, and I know that must have been devastating to her because I'm sure that she was in love with him as well. But she respected it and back off, and that's very honorable of her. Like just you know. Wow, it's interesting learning every side and angle of Elvis. Wow.
Then everything halted. We knew the relationship had to end, that Elvis had to fulfill his commitment. Margaret added. Although they had to end their romantic relationship, Presley and Margaret remained friends for multiple years. He would send her flowers during every performance she did in Las Vegas. When he didn't send her flowers in August 1977, Margaret learned that he died. When he died, Margaret went to his funeral. Number 3 is Natalie Wood. She was an American actress who began her career in film as a child and successfully transitioned to young adult roles. Wood started acting at age 4 and was given a co-starring role at age 8. She won 4 Golden Globes and 3 Academy Award nominations in her time, starring in at least 31 films. As a teenager, she was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Rebel Without a Cause in 1955, followed by a role in John Ford's The Searchers in 1956. Dennis Hopper, who played her co-star in Rebel Without a Cause, introduced the then 21-year-old jailhouse rock singer to her in 1956. Presley then treated her to a movie date in his trademark way by renting out the entire theater. Sister Lana reportedly stated that it dazzled her and was not what she was used to, according to Closer magazine. They were also caught on camera riding Presley's Harley Davidson on a date in New York in 1956. Natalie's sister, Lana Wood, told Closer Weekly magazine that it dazzled the teen. She said, "To go to the movies, he bought out the theater. That's not what she was used to." Elvis was equally as starstruck by Natalie. Elvis invited her home to impress his parents, but his mother Gladys soured on the actress quickly. Mr. Connolly claimed, "Natalie wore a very flimsy nightgown around the house. Gladys was like, 'Not in my house.'" USA Today says that most people thought Presley's short relationship with Natalie Wood was a publicity stunt. But her sister says that Natalie Wood, who died in 1981, did not see it that way. Lana Wood wrote a book called Natalie, a memoir by her sister, in which she insisted that the relationship was real. Lana told the same publication that Natalie thought his mother was jealous and intimidating. After that, they stopped seeing each other. Their relationship seemed bulletproof, a serious romance in the making. But, as Lana recalls in her book, Natalie, a memoir by her sister, it was not to be. Number 4 is Anita Wood. Anita Marie Woodbrewer was a television performer, recording artist, and Elvis Presley's lover. Elvis Presley and Anita Wood met in 1957, and Elvis referred to Wood as his number 1 girl that same year. From 1957 to 1962, the two had a committed relationship. Anita signed a contract with Paramount Pictures to work as an actress, but she eventually gave it up for Elvis. He sent her letters while he was in the military, which he ordered her not to show anyone. The singer met 14-year-old Priscilla.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because they said he met Priscilla while he was in the military, but when he was going away in the military, he already was with Anita. Elvis, you're a player.
just weeks before his return to the United States in 1960. For the next 2 years, Elvis continued to date Anita while secretly romancing Priscilla. Wood was well aware of the rumors surrounding Elvis' secret romance. The press and fan clubs had already begun to refer to Priscilla as the king's sweetheart. When Elvis returned home, Anita discovered a note from Priscilla pleading with Elvis to persuade her father to let her visit. Wood questioned her lover, but he maintained it was only a friendship and begged her not to disclose anything that could ruin his profession and reputation because Priscilla was underage. This carried on for 2 years. Then, one evening at home, Wood overheard a conversation between the star and his father, Vernon. As I was heading down the back steps into the kitchen, I heard Elvis say, "I'm having the toughest difficulty deciding between the two," Wood remembered. Devastated, she stormed into the room and pushed Elvis to reveal what was going on. The evening ended with both of them in tears. Number 5 is Linda Thompson. After Presley and Priscilla broke up, he began dating Linda Thompson. The former beauty queen first caught the rock star's eye when she was just 22. During their nearly 4 years together, she described Presley as an inordinately kind spirit who constantly showered her with presents. She praised him as a wonderful, respectful, and faithful individual. Bonding over their shared beliefs in a higher power and their love for gospel music, Thompson moved in with Elvis at his Graceland home after only months of knowing one another. Most people agree that, after Priscilla, Thompson is Elvis's second most significant relationship in his life. Thompson claimed in the CNN interview that Presley didn't think he was a drug addict since he only ever used prescription drugs. When he received his hospital admission, Thompson asked to be placed in a bed close to him so she could assist him with his recovery. When he was sent to the hospital, Thompson asked for a bed next to him so she could.
Wow. She seemed very much was honorable and in love with him because, while he was going through that, she was always there by his bedside, always asking to be there. So it seemed like she really loved him and wanted to be there for him, and that would have been great. Wow.
Support him as he recovered. It was during the period when Elvis stopped taking care of himself and hit a downward spiral of excess. There were times when he was very, very difficult. According to Linda, there was a lot of heartache, and he exhibited a lot of self-destructive behavior, which was very difficult for me, watching someone I loved so much destroy himself. Linda added. According to Nikki Swift, Thompson said that after 4.5 years, she realized he would never give up cheating and would continue abusing prescription drugs. That was when she finally decided to end things. Number 6 is Ginger Alden. Ginger Alden was 21 years old when Elvis Presley fell in love with her, and Presley was in his early 40s at the time. She was a former beauty queen as well. They decided to marry each other and built a house together in Graceland. In her memoir, Elvis and Ginger, Elvis Presley's fiancé and last love finally tells her story. Alden talked about what she claimed to have been an abusive relationship with Elvis Presley. At the time, Alden and Presley were engaged. Ranker gave details about how he kept guns within the home and how, when he did not get his way, he frequently fired shots around the building. She claimed that he would act in this way when he was furious. During an interview, Alden recalled her last conversation with the singer, who was only 42 when he passed away in 1977. It was Alden who discovered the body of Elvis Presley on the toilet in his bathroom. She said he had mentioned having more kids. They had already set the date for their wedding, and he had told her just weeks earlier that he was excited to get back on stage after being away for so long. In his life, Elvis Presley was known to date several women. With so many attractive ladies and the wild side in him, relationships with women were never hard for him to find. There are so many stories about his love affairs that it's almost impossible to pinpoint which one is real and which is not.
Right.
Some of these stories might just be legends, but there's no denying their impact on Elvis' personal life. Which of these women do you believe had the most affection for Elvis?
Wow, it was beautiful, but yet it was a like a sad year. You know, the last story, it was a like a sad year. You know, even though everyone have their ups and down days and their good and bad days and stuff like that, but you know, it was like a sad. You know, that doesn't make you love him any less. You know, because everyone go through something at some point in their life. You know, it's just that he didn't get a chance to redeem himself, to pick up back and become back the person that everyone love. You know, yeah. So it was good listening to this as always. Like I said, knowing the good, the bad, the ugly, everything about Elvis is just so great, and it doesn't take away from him being that kind, loving and giving person. You know, you always have to remember that side and know that the good outweigh the bad. I know he's a king. Yeah, it's very good to hear about his loves, even though he may dated a lot more people than that, but I guess they just pick out those one that I guess those were the main one that a lot of people know about. So yeah, it's very interesting and very enjoyable to watch it as always. All right, guys, yes, so don't forget to like, comment, to subscribe, and then check out I'll catch you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.